Oh, hello everyone. Hello. Welcome back to Video Game Vibes. I am here live with my boy PatriotJax. Jax, hello. Say hello to everyone.
Hello everyone. How are we doing? It's the live episode.
Woo!
We got here, dude. A whole year of talking. Exciting, I know.
I can't believe it's been a year. Like, it's actual insanity to me that we've been doing the podcast for a year now. I still remember, like, randomly you DM me on Discord and you're like, hey, I'm thinking about doing a podcast, and I sort of would rather do it with you over anyone else. And I was like, I've always wanted to do a podcast, Jax. Absolutely. And here we are now, a year from then.
I'm so glad that you said yes, by the way. Like, you guys don't know how hard it is. Like, I'm like the worst at, like, networking and collaborating and stuff like that. I am so glad that I sent you that message.
Yeah.
And look at where we are now.
Oh my
50
gosh.
subs and a year later.
Yeah. Been putting the podcast everywhere. Guys, if you didn't know, first off, thank you, audience members, for coming in. This is just going to be a chill podcast episode. We're going to talk about normal stuff, talk about video games if we have anything. And, near the end of the stream or, maybe periodically throughout, we'll, talk to you guys in chat. And, if you guys have any cool news or anything that you want to talk about specifically, we can pop that in and, here and there throughout the podcast. But this is live on YouTube for those of you that don't know, since we will be posting this to our other platforms tomorrow.
Cool.
But, yeah, so if anyone's confused, that's what this is.
Yeah, this is from the live streams, like Spotify, Amazon Music, and wherever else you're listening. I'm very curious to know. The analytics only tell us so much.
Yeah, we only know so much. We're not, analytics are just numbers, and we're just men who talk about video games. So, here we are. Jax, we gotta do the regular intro stuff. We got all excited about the live episode. We didn't say how we were. We were all, like, finicky trying to set up the podcast, the live stream, so we didn't even talk yet in regards to, like, how you were doing. How are you doing, Jax?
I'm alright. No, I'm good. It was quite funny because it sort of reminded me back when I first started doing live streams, like, because we're doing it obviously from a new account and stuff, so you have to sort out all those teething issues and stuff like that, so it did take me back a little, but no, I'm good. I'm very much hoping that my baby boy stays asleep so I don't have to get up, but I know you were hoping for, and that's fine. This is 100% the Fortnite episode.
Pass.
Sure
Huge
that.
pass. Grog snooze, I don't know about that. My boy's snoozing chat is trying to troll us 2 minutes in.
That was probably the last game that we played together, though, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. Fortnite was the last game we played together? That's so bad. That's quite bad. We need to change that.
I think sort of the most important thing though we need to start with is the lawn update.
Oh my god.
How is the lawn?
Oh, okay. So, for those of you that don't know, I normally talk about my lawn on the podcast, at least for a second, because, we're adults over here. We have to do adulting things sometimes, like do lawn stuff. And huge lawn update. Huge. This last weekend, I did a thing where I basically decimated my backyard. I think I've said this a few times on the podcast, but when I moved into my house, I didn't know how many plants I had because it was winter. And then when winter was done and spring came, I saw all the plants in my whole entire yard because the lady that owned my house previously was retired and she just, gardened all the time, which is like, great for her. Bad for me. I don't have time to garden all the time. So there's just like plants everywhere, like every single space, surrounding the house, everywhere. And last weekend we finally went around and just said, you know what? It's too bad. I love nature. Not this much though. And we tore up everything. We tore up pretty much every plant that we have surrounding the house. We had my father-in-law came over too, and he's better with his hands and good stuff, lawn care and all that than I am. And he brought like a wood chipper and like a flamethrower, and like we were like full on like.
Flamethrower?
It was okay. So he had like.
How big is your garden, man?
It's not that big, but like the nature took over everything. It was the point where like there was a couple of plants that were getting into my yard because it was just an infestation of plants essentially. So yeah, it's not a big lawn, but it's annoying enough where it's all enclosed and it comes over and everything. But point being, he took a flamethrower to some of my yard, which was great.
I have
it was
sort of a related.
You have a related lawn update. This is huge
like,
for
not
us.
To bore everyone with us talking about like garden related like.
This is a video game podcast, yeah, but lawns are important too.
But we had a couple of dead trees in my front garden, and my friend's dad came around with his chainsaw and just took it to like the two trees. But I got to like pull out the stump and stuff like that, which was lots of fun. And then I got to use like an axe for the first time because we were just hammering away at this stump that wouldn't come out.
Yeah.
And it still didn't. It's still there, but like my front garden is like it's like a war zone. It's bad out there.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get into it too much because no one's interested in that. But I feel like for the meme, we kind of have to mention it.
You pay a guy to flamethrower your lawn and it's fine, but do it and it's arson. Yeah, exactly. There's a fine line between arson and flamethrowers. Thank you for that point. Lawn is the best video game. Thank you, Gooey. Yes.
That's what we need to play next time. We need to play like.
Bro, there's a lawn simulator. Isn't there like garden simulator or something on Steam?
Like yeah.
It's by the people that made the Power Wash simulator. It's like the same company, and they did it, but it's just for your lawn. I have it on my wish list. I haven't gotten it yet.
Lawn mowing simulator.
Is that what it's called? That's amazing.
Oh my god. Yeah, we should definitely stream that sometime. That would be too fun.
I'm changing my channel. I'm changing my channel, Jax. It's just gonna be all lawn simulator from now on.
Should we move on and talk about some form of gaming? I think that's probably
I agree.
I just wanted to briefly touch on because as a millennial that grew up in the noughties playing Call of Duty, it is heartwarming, despite the fact that I don't own an Xbox, to hear that Microsoft, they brought back the COD servers, or Activision rather, brought the COD servers back for all of the old Xbox, or all the Call of Duty games, on Xbox Game Pass and that. You can play all of the old games, and there are now active players. Like, they fixed the lobbies and stuff like that. So you've got like tens of thousands of players playing like Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2 and stuff like that, and this is the first time in my life that I actually want to own an Xbox, and it's to play really old games. Like, how stupid is that?
No, man, that's huge. Wait, so this is like not just the newest games of Black Ops and Call of Duty.
Specifically all the old ones. It fixed the lobby issues or whatever.
That's incredible.
Everyone's in Xbox is back on it, so like people with a 360 I think can do it, and then
what
Xbox One, I think, has backwards compatibility and the Xbox Game Pass and that, so they can. I think my brother who's got an Xbox, he just bought Black Ops 2, and now he's been playing Black Ops 2. Yeah.
So okay, so technically, if like you had an Xbox One and somehow I found my Xbox 360 that's lodged in my parents' basement and booted that up to Call of Duty, we could play together because the servers are live on both systems?
Potentially, yeah, I believe so. I don't know this, so maybe someone in the chat might know. Is it the same for PC? Because I don't think it is, because I've been looking at Modern Warfare Remastered, and that still has like 100 people concurrently playing it, which is obviously not a lot. Because I love the original Modern Warfare. For me, that was it's just nostalgic, it takes you back, and it also shows just how bad the newest COD games are, that people are so.
Oh, is that why you think they're doing it?
I'm not sure. Well, it's a big win because I think Blizzard, Microsoft just won that lawsuit, and they can officially buy Activision Blizzard. I think it's been okayed that they can buy it, but I think there's like a clause with PlayStation that they can't
Touch Call of
PlayStation
Duty?
has to have Call of Duty as well. Yeah, they can't keep it just for Xbox. So.
Okay. Because I did want to bring that up once you were done with Call of Duty stuff, because I did hear that this week too, about the lawsuit a little bit, and how now, huge deal for me, I'm not currently playing World of Warcraft. However, it is known now that Microsoft will own World of Warcraft because of this lawsuit, because of Blizzard. So they're going to own World of Warcraft, they're going to own Hearthstone. Are they going to own Overwatch too? Because that's under Blizzard too, isn't it?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not sure about this. I think it's probably like neutral news. I don't think they're gonna ruin anything.
Personally, I don't see it passing the vibe, and here's why.
Ooh.
Right. So, you've had Microsoft introduced as a competitor, sort of way back in the day with the original Xbox, right? And they had Halo and like a couple of other original titles that are what you think of when you think of Xbox, right? Fast forward to now, and how many other game titles or like IPs can you think of when you think of Xbox? What do you think of? Oh, you think of Halo. Halo was in the original Xbox. Like, think of any other games that are exclusive, like for the Xbox. They've spent how many years buying up developers and stuff like that, and like they even had Redfall, that game Redfall that came out earlier this year, and that was awful and buggy and stuff. Like, it's just like they might buy Activision Blizzard. It doesn't mean that they're going to get any better with the games. Like,
I don't think they're gonna get better. I'm just worried about them messing up. T. Higgs in the chat made an excellent point in regards to Call of Duty about how the latest games have too many bugs for Call of Duty MW2 2022 Modern Warfare. Is that what that is? I'm assuming. I don't know acronyms. I'm terrible at acronyms.
The new Modern Warfare.
The new Modern Warfare.
Like,
too many
bad
bugs.
One, not the old good one. To be fair, I never actually played Modern Warfare 2. I skipped that and went to Black Ops.
And I mean, I feel like that's a different conversation all by itself about how Call of Duty, they maybe rush some of their games.
Exclusive, exactly. What is an Xbox exclusive? Like, that's the sort of point that I'm coming across, is that like they're essentially acquiring another like big developer, but is it going to make a difference? Especially given the fact that,
hey man,
Activision Blizzard is, they're still, Call of Duty is still going to be like cross-platform.
I got 3 words for you. WoW on console.
I just don't think I'd have the time. I want to. And I've said this before, like, I don't know if anyone knows, like, I loved Warcraft 3, and we've talked about this before. Warcraft 3 was probably the last big strategy game that I played. I used to love strategy games back in the day. Warcraft 3 was great, and then obviously it became World of Warcraft, and that story that I really enjoyed, and the characters and stuff, obviously disappeared into an MMO that I decided not to venture into because I thought
it was wise for you not to do that. Yeah,
I lost a lot of years, to be fair.
I have.
I don't think I can do it, which is a shame because it's too big. It's like when I said that I need to play RuneScape for the pod so we can do an episode of RuneScape. I created the account. I haven't got past.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I haven't got past like tutorial hour or whatever.
Island.
Yeah.
Oh, are they saying the camera's inverted in stream?
Wait, am I on the wrong side? Oh, that was all the writing backwards. No, not from what I can see.
Oh no, is it my camera? Oh, my camera's inverted.
Oh, I see.
Because normally it's the other way around, isn't it? Is it?
No, but are we both facing outwards rather than facing inwards? We are.
Oh, right, because I'm like looking.
If I look like this.
Yeah.
I sit like that. I think
now I'm staring at you, right?
Yeah. Okay. So see, I need to sit like this. So I should really have my Discord over here.
Oh, well, don't worry. Technical difficulties. I mean, not really. It's just like, you guys can...
It's alright for me because you're doing the actual live stream. I'm just modding in the chat, you know?
I mean, if my camera's upside down, that's one thing. if it's just, like, turned the other way... The inverted, yeah, my room's inverted.
Room is inverted.
Yeah, that's funny. At least I'm still right side up, and like we're not that. Yeah, it's fine.
Snooze is talking sense. Cold War is unplayable. You load into a game with a hacker in most matches, and you're likely to have your account hacked and lose everything. See, that's the problem. Is hackers. You know,
I
hackers
can't believe I just don't understand hacking. Like. I guess
even in multiplayer, I'm not saying I understand it, but like you hear about hacking in like what do you gain from it? Like shooting in the air and you're killing everyone. Like, what do you gain from it? I don't get it.
The only reason to hack is to flex on people, and like
it's not a flex.
Well, they think it is. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the mental capacity behind people that hack, because it's like they're just like, oh, I want to be the best, and I'm better and more powerful than anyone, and then they just get a power trip by like putting other players down. But yeah.
Why would the camera be inverted? Because it's not like that.
Yeah, I don't know. On our end, it's not inverted. Maybe we'll watch it back and we'll figure it out.
I'm watching the stream now, and they're absolutely right. So you're looking as if you're looking left.
Yeah,
right.
I am looking left.
I'm looking as if I'm looking right, but I'm trying to look the other way.
So I'm currently looking left. Am I looking left?
Yeah.
Okay, but I am looking left in real life. Is that better? Is it better? Good. I don't know. Guys, okay. I have terrible spatial recognition. I don't understand anything. This is like my kryptonite right now. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, this is funny.
I guess what it could be is that obviously when we edit the episodes, we would maybe flip one of the cameras and stuff. So obviously it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. Jug says in chat, FPS games people hack to either increase in number or ruin the fun for everyone. See, it doesn't make any sense. People literally just want to ruin people's fun, and that's how they have fun. To me, they're sociopaths.
Imagine being that person that jumps off after ruining everyone's game, being like,
yeah,
that was a good time. Yeah, that was a good time.
And it doesn't make sense too, because you also see hackers in children's games. Like in Fall Guys, we've had hackers, which is why? Why you have this much time to make a hack into Fall Guys that you want to get points on Fall Guys? It's not even a Call of Duty base. It's not FPS. It's barely anything. I don't understand. Anyway, let's get back to some other stuff. Jax, we have a lot to talk about for our podcast. I want to go through some of our things. We had a couple of stuff that we were going to talk about in regards to how we feel about the podcast coming this far. And one of those things is favorite things that we've done. We've done one each as in what both of us say something. Obviously I'm definitely not reading from anything. This is our 27th episode, guys, not counting our original Vibe versus episodes. So
let's not talk about that.
Let's actually, let's talk about it. This is the perfect time to talk about it. For those of you that didn't know, we did start doing part of the podcast. We had a content that was called Vibe Versus, where we played a video game. We versed each other, and this wasn't part of the podcast. We just did it beforehand as extra content to put on YouTube, and maybe make shorts off of or something eventually. And during the podcast episode, we talk about it for 5 minutes at the end and just say how it went and stuff. But it was additional content. And we just picked a different game and tried to verse each other. And after a while, we just realized it didn't make a lot of sense, I guess. I don't know, Jax. Do you still feel it was not worthwhile or anything? Or We were on the same page about putting it down because we were just like, we should focus on the podcast itself, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to go back on when we've grown. I think it would be something that we could ask the audience if they wanted to bring back as something like that the OGs would remember if we get to a point where the pod has grown to like a large extent, which is obviously one of our aims.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. Like it was good fun just to throw in some random game real quick. But it didn't at the minute anyway. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. And like I say, we'll bring it back maybe one day.
Maybe one day. But it'd be hilarious if we brought it back and we just say season 2 of Vibe Versus. So any new people that come in, they're like, season 2? What happened to season 1?
Then there's a whole episode on Lost Season 1.
Lost Season 1 content.
Like, just thinking back to it, really. So who won Season 1? Can you remember? Can you remember what? Like,
He's flexing right now. He trashed me. Snooze definitely haven't binged the playlist. Oh, I think that means he has. Thank you, Snooze. Yeah, no, if anyone else has watched it as well. Jack sort of thrashed me. So what we did for the Vibe Versus is every time someone won, we would keep the points tallied up. So it wasn't just like one-offs and stuff. We had a continued score of who was winning that season for Vibe Versus. And I can't remember. I could probably pull it up, Jax, or you could pull it up. But I think the ending score was something like 9-3 or something.
Let me have a quick look.
It was like 7-4, 9-3, and Jax just like killed me every episode. And we like tried to switch off too. So like I would pick a game, and then he would pick a game, and then I would pick a game. So we were trying to be fair, but also
I think you won the first one, and then I went something like 4-1 up.
Yeah.
And then you got it back to like, I don't know if I think you got it back to like 6-4, and then the end was 6-5. So you actually...
Oh, I did?
Stopped. It was 6-5 to me. But if we hadn't stopped, you were really like, you were pulling it back. You had a moment, you could have done it. But...
Almay, welcome to chat. Thanks, buddy, for being here. I know I lost Gooey. I know. Yeah, so, but hey, one thing, remember? Did we do a Hollow Knight Vibe Versus? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't.
I was holding that one back.
You were waiting to use it, because we choose a game each.
I was using that as my trump card, guys. So, like,
yeah,
I was like...
to drop it. And you were like 4 behind. I was like, why don't we just do Hollow Knight? And you were like, I'm waiting for my moment. And then we stopped doing the show, so, you know.
I was gonna wait until we were tied, so then, like, the one after that, I could just be like, okay, whoever beats the first boss in Hollow Knight the fastest wins. And it's like, yeah, it's basically an easy dub for me.
So easy.
Oh my god.
We did try and, obviously, play games that we've both played, or, like, we went through all the games that were, like, both in our Steam libraries, and just went from there.
Yeah, we were finding it hard to do games near the end too. I think that was another reason, because I'm sure we could have found stuff, especially if we asked the audience or like asked our communities, but we did do a Roblox Vibe Versus, and that sort of put my morale way down. I was like, if we're resorting to Roblox for this series, I don't know.
I remember, yeah. I think I killed like 2 guys, and like that was it, and like it was awful. Yeah, it was such a bad show.
Yeah, it was a lot. Almay asks, are you ever redoing the bottom bar? If you mean our artwork down here, if that's what you're referring
that's
to,
sort of on the back burner for me. So,
it is, but
I need to get on that.
We're not opposed to redoing it later, but I feel like we want to hit a certain chapter, right? Like a season 2 of the podcast almost. So yeah, probably eventually, I mean, why not? But Jax did this himself, by the way. Also, hold on, I just want to take a minute to thank Jax, guys. Oh. Also, I want you guys to know that for this podcast, while I love doing it, Jax does more than I do. I would say you do like 70% of the work for the podcast. You do all the artwork, you do all the thumbnails. Sometimes you edit the titles because I don't know, because I
yeah,
throw in random
that's-
type.
I was just about to say, this is where I feel bad because I'm like a bit of a control freak. And again, it's like part of the issue I have with like collaborating.
It's
So,
a partnership
you
though. Like I
me
tell you, like if it's a bad idea.
Tell me if I'm like micromanaging. So I am a bit like that, yeah.
No, I don't mean it like that. Like I'm not afraid to give you my opinion or anything, but I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that you do a lot of work on the podcast, and sometimes
I appreciate it.
I do prepare for certain episodes. But for the most part, sometimes it feels like I just show up and talk, and I appreciate you for that, because that's what I want to do.
But it's funny you say that because I feel exactly the same way a lot of the time. Sometimes it's both of us. Sometimes one of us is leaning on the other to sort of like to talk some spiel, some nothingness a bit more.
Yep.
But yeah, no. Thank you, I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I thank you for all of the lovely editing that you do.
Yeah. I appreciate you, bud.
Just you. I feel like you've always kept the podcast moving. You're like, in my head, you're like the host, even though
I'm the
like
host.
In my head, because you're
really
good at keeping things moving.
Interesting.
You know?
Well, hey, that's a huge compliment, guys. I'm the host. I've just found this out today, so good for me. Snooze, I'm not mean to you in chat. Come on. My mod boy Snooze is saying that our relationship is similar to me and Snooze's, except I'm mean to him, which is, it's only half true.
But to take a leaf out of your book, let's go back to the original thing we were talking about before.
Yes, please.
Tangents on Vibe Versus. So, what's your favourite episode that we've done, my dude?
Oh my lord, my favorite episode of ours? Oh boy, I don't know. Did you have one? You can go first, and I'll give you an answer if you go first.
I had a couple of thoughts.
Please.
Well, it's the one where like I definitely took the lead on the our Stealth Games Dead episode. So the one that about
that was like our third episode, right? Yes.
The stealth game
I'm
genre,
looking at it right now.
Because obviously Metal Gear is getting a remake and stuff like that, and they're remastering lots of stuff. So it's sort of an exciting time to see whether the genre can come back, sort of in its own as its own like individual games, and not essentially just become a mechanic, which is what it has become for like most bigger sort of open world and story driven games. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one, and there was a really good comment from someone on that particular episode.
On that one? Do you want to read it out? Oh, that's good. We should read out a comment right now.
I can have a look at it.
Oh, why don't you have a little look-see? And while you do that, let me. I think my favorite episode, sort of. I feel like it's not controversial to say this, I guess, but probably the Backrooms episode. Just for one, because I like the Backrooms, and for two, like, I don't know, we structured that one a little bit different. Like, we were even considering maybe not doing it, because all of our other episodes, the majority of them focus on, like, one set game, apart from the one that you just mentioned, actually.
Sometimes, yeah, no, I get what you mean.
For the most part, it's like, okay, this is the episode about this game, right? But for that, we just talked about the Backrooms itself as lore, and then we tied it into a couple indie Backrooms games that we know of. Like, if guys who come to my channel know that, like, sometimes we play some Backrooms games. So we related it to that and just had our thoughts on it. And I don't know, I thought that was a really chill and nicely structured one, even though we weren't sure what it was going to look like in the beginning, you know?
Yeah. Organically, it kind of flowed really well. Sometimes, like, that's what the well, we don't really call it anymore, but like the vibing out episodes, the episodes where we don't talk about anything, we just kind of talk about a bit of news. We don't really talk about a specific game. We just talk about what's going on in general. And those are a bit more organic.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
I really like. Like, and you know, we've talked about how we might structure like important news stuff that just drops, and maybe get in an extra episode going forward if there's something like really interesting that we want to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. If anyone in chat has an opinion on your favorite episode, let us know and maybe we'll talk about it. I would love to hear if you guys have one. If you don't, that's fine. But just asking while we're on the topic for it.
My other one was Hades, just because
I was gonna say Hades
you introduced
too.
me to Hades,
Yeah,
and I freaking love that game so much, and I can't wait for the second one. And yeah, I would not have played it if you hadn't sort of started bigging it up.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Comment from Snooze, very important. Possible future episode. Best beards in video games.
Oh snap!
That's a killer episode, actually, bro. We might steal that idea. Best video game characters with beards. Best beards in gaming.
Comes to mind.
We do have beards, both of us. For those of you who are just listening, audio based. God of War's, that's probably low.
That's the first one that I thought of. I'm trying to think who else now.
Yeah. We'll have to brainstorm.
And then my head just went to Pedro Pascal. I haven't even really got it in The Last of Us,
Yeah. What if we do a comparison list? So we both do top 5, and we just pick different characters we don't tell each other, and then we compare on an episode. Okay. Is that a dumb idea?
We can discuss. I hate it. I think a news segment would be great, honestly. Angry Joe does a news segment, and it's really entertaining to hear his opinion on different topics of the game. See, I'm the guy that champions the news segments the most.
Yeah, tell him about that, Jax. Tell him about that a little bit.
Well, I just, one thing that I think we should improve on, and we've already talked about it, and as I said, I just mentioned it, but, when news drops, we record it as the news drops, but a lot of the time we don't end up posting it because we post fortnightly. So by the time the podcast comes out, when we're talking about the news, it's old news. And that's sort of one issue that we thought about. Maybe if we record it, I will just try and flat out edit it sort of right afterwards, and then we post it maybe the next day or something like that, so that it's obviously topical and relevant.
Yeah, we've obviously that's one of the things, since we're bi-weekly, that that is a struggle, but I feel like for us it's very important that we just got the format of the actual podcast itself first, like a structured baseline of what this is, and I feel like we accomplished that in a year, and now this next year we can just build on that. We can just go off, do different segments, do possibly additional episodes on top of our bi-weekly schedule and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see. We got some ideas. I don't know how much we want to say for our anniversary episode, but
Well, I was going to say we've sort of talked about that before. Well, we had a segment we were going to talk about sort of our goals and stuff. So I think we should might as well just talk about that.
Might as well. And
we're hoping to venture into interviews on the podcast.
Yes.
Again, something that's giving me great anxiety, being someone who struggles with networking and collaborating, but I'm excited because it is, for podcast, the number one way to grow. It makes a lot of sense to do it, and I'm excited to bring on people from all different video game and YouTube walks of life.
Yeah.
And
I very much would like to interview someone. Yeah, that was one of my goals as a podcaster down the line. And hopefully I think we'll start with other YouTubers, just because we want to get people that play video games on the podcast. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone that only plays video games or something like that. We could still, we could find some other people that are interesting that have podcasts and then just tie in video games in a different way. But I think we'll start with YouTubers we know first off. One of the goals that I have, I would love to interview an indie dev at some point if we get popular enough to do that. That would be huge and amazing. And I don't know if I'm at the interviewing level that I want to be at for that yet, obviously, because we haven't really interviewed anyone or had guests, but that's one of my goals, I think. It doesn't even have to be this year, but on the podcast in general down the line, that's what I would like. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. It's definitely the way to go, and it will push some boundaries. For me personally, and I think it'd be really good. Like when you talk about like indie devs, like in my head, I think about like the games that I've played on my channel and who possibly from those games would be willing to come and just have a chat. So yeah, we're going to be looking to that for this year. We're going to look into it, aren't we?
Yeah, I bet it's easier than we think too to talk to indie devs, because like we get emails. Who's Airdorf?
The developer of Faith. See, that was the person.
Oh.
That was what I said to you when we were talking about plan. I was like, maybe he would come on and talk about Faith.
Has he talked to, like, does he have good social presence and stuff?
Oh, yeah, he's, like, really big on Twitter and that. Yeah, he's very active.
Okay.
Even though Twitter's, like, on the way down. He's create a Threads account, of course.
Yeah, we don't have a Threads account yet, guys, but we do have a... We have a Twitter account.
We have a Twitter. We posted, like, the first time we created it, and then nothing since. It's really bad, actually.
We have a TikTok, too, so that's good. Don't we? We do, right?
Fault, like, I feel bad about the TikTok. I feel bad about that because it was sort of my idea, because I thought it'd be a really good way to market the pod, and it is. But I'm not editing enough TikToks when I'm editing my episodes, whereas you're actually doing the shorts and the TikToks.
I haven't really put in too much work on that anyway. That's another thing for us to get a goal, rather, while we're on that subject, to do in the future.
I have an idea about that.
Yeah.
And I think I'll just
pitch it live. Yeah, go ahead. Let's do it.
Well, so do you know like the conspiracy theory about TikTok and podcasts on TikTok, or the clips that you see on TikTok?
No.
A lot of the podcast clips that you see of people like saying quite outlandish things for the clicks, they aren't actually real podcasts. They just frame it to look like a podcast for whatever reason, for clicks for those particular people or whatever. But a lot of those clips that you see on TikTok aren't actually podcasts, and it blew my mind. Like, it's true.
I've seen like a couple like comedy sketches that were acting like that, but like I knew they were fake on it like right away. But that's a common thing now?
Yeah. Just like general, because it's a good way. It's a great way of marketing like those people. But like, there's a lot of them that could be like video game related. It could be like internet culture and stuff like that, and like hot news and stuff. And yeah, they just talk about it because it's relevant and stuff. But they're not actually.
That's
it's
so
not actually
weird.
From a podcast.
I feel like
it's very weird. It's very weird.
Much better ways to get clout, I guess, on TikTok. Yeah. You don't even get paid for TikTok, right?
No, but that's the thing. TikTok is all about you grow a presence on TikTok and you bring them over to YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But back to my original idea is that after we finish recording, we should spend like 5 to 10 minutes saying really over the top like unpopular opinions about stuff, specifically for TikTok clips. I actually think that would be a really good idea.
That can be our outro for the live podcast episode, is saying hot topics, stuff that will get us almost canceled.
Like every time we talk about Demon Slayer and stuff, you know.
Demon Slayer mid? What? Who? What? Oh jeez. All right. No, that's we need to work on that a tiny bit more in the future. For all the shorts and TikTok's so crazy. I don't even know.
Let's move on to the next.
Yeah, let's move on to our next topic. Number 3, right? Well, I have these labeled in numerical order. How is being a podcaster different from being a YouTuber? Is that the one you want to talk about next?
I have that at number 2. But
yes. Well, okay. Well, we're talking about that now.
Number 3, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing, right? Podcaster versus YouTuber. How much money
for one of you to beatbox? Ooh,
$100.
You're straight in there.
$100 easy. I'll beatbox for you. Easy, easy.
10 years ago, I'd have snapped your hand off. I'd have done it.
Interesting, Gooey. In chat, Gooey Boy says, not gonna lie, half the time I use Grog's live streams as podcasts. I appreciate that.
I do get that as well. Like live streams just in general, because obviously like 2-3 hours, 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And like, if you have YouTube Premium, you can leave it on in the background and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally get that.
Yeah. There's some
I
overlap.
do wish, and I say it numerous times, don't I wish I was awake when you live stream, but I never make it to your live stream.
Oh,
I feel bad about it.
I guess one thing we did talk about is, like, I don't know if everyone knows, there's a 7-hour difference for us for our podcast. Yeah. So Jax obviously is in the UK, and I am in Minnesota in the United States. So I don't think it's been that weird scheduling. I feel like it's been, I don't know, it's been fine, right? Like, do you think the 7-hour difference has been complicated things at all?
I feel like it's probably less flexible than we would like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
For the most part, we sort of have to do the specific times on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and things are overcomplicated for me because I have a baby.
That's
so sometimes
true.
I'm like jumping out, which is fine for like editing because we just cut it all out. But I think it works. Like, you know, I think it works pretty well.
Yeah.
Although I have been saying to you, we just need to play some more games together.
Yeah, I know, that's true. We do need to play some games outside for sure. Yeah, no, I guess I just want to bring that up just in case people didn't know for some reason, or people are just tuning in now and all that stuff. Yeah, I think we've made it work. It's been good. But back to topics at hand. Podcasts are being different from a YouTuber. I feel like sometimes I feel like it's harder to be a podcaster than it is to be a YouTuber. I don't know. I feel like to be brutally honest, I feel like I don't want to let you down. So I feel like sometimes it's like harder in regards to what we have to do. Whereas if my YouTube channel, not that I want to, but if things get out of hand and I'm too busy, I can be like, oh, I'm not going to upload this week. That's fine. That's on me. If I do something wrong here, it's on both of us. So I feel worse about that. I don't know. Do you feel
sweet.
that?
No, I totally get what you mean. I don't feel like that's different from, like, because for example, you could have a YouTube channel with someone else and feel that same way. So I don't feel like that.
That's true. That's very true.
Podcasting is a lot easier. Like, for me personally, who does video essays and like lore videos of video games.
Yeah.
Those videos take up a lot more editing and recording and all that stuff compared to a podcast, which we just essentially riff for an hour or so.
That's true.
Yep. And then obviously we edit it back. Obviously, there's like that the marketing is probably again quite similar. I don't think it's that different. What have I actually said here? I said it's more relaxing, as we're just chatting with friends.
Yeah. It is relaxing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've always wanted to do a podcast talking video games I've always wanted to do a podcast talking about video games because, for the most part, like, people around me in real life, like, play video games, but they're not in the culture, like internet culture and video games in that sense. They're very much casual, for the most part. Not everyone, like, if anyone's watching this, not everyone, but for the most part, like, I've mentioned to you before how, like, going a step further, no one I know in real life watches anime.
Yeah.
Like, no one.
Which is that's a shame. I'm
having to at least vent to you when every time I go through a new anime is just, it's like cathartic for me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was gonna talk about anime. Can I talk about anime quick? I've been talking about.
Let's do it. Let's break it down.
I was
what do you want?
watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen dropped. I haven't started yet because I was watching the movie. Because there's a movie that was on Netflix, which is like before season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. And I'm in the middle of that right now. But that's happening. That's what I wanted to mention.
I've had a bit of a nightmare because I watch a lot of my anime on Zoro.to, which has now been taken over by AniWatch, and I don't understand all the details and stuff, but essentially there's loads of ads and it's very different, and I'm like, so I've had to find another way to watch anime. I'll leave it at that. I'm back on watching Black Clover. That's where I'm at. I'm still halfway through. I haven't got back to watching Demon Slayer. Oh my god, I was like halfway through Demon Slayer. I haven't even finished.
You have to finish Demon Slayer. You're almost done, right? You're in this. Well, you're almost caught up. I mean.
Yeah. I'm halfway through the latest season. I must admit I've been enjoying it, but I just don't get the hype for him, man.
We weren't planning on slandering Demon Slayer today, but
slander is such a strong word. Like, it's the art, the animation, the art direction. We were talking about this before. It's just so good, and it's just you can't not enjoy just looking at it. But yeah, it's just like some like the character tropes and the story itself is so straightforward for the most part. You know, like you said, you know what was going to happen at the end. Don't tell me, because I am not there yet. But you kind of guessed what happened and stuff. And
it's just all I will say is at the end of the latest arc, something happens and it's cheesy, and I don't know.
Oh, that's disappointing if it's cheesy. But yeah, like Black Clover, like we talked about this a bit before, and you were like, because you were like, well, who's your favorite character? And I was like, I actually really like the main character, Asta. Like, and I don't normally, because he's relatively generic. But for some reason, there's some specific quality about him that I actually really like. But that show's got its own problems with what's that guy's name? Gauche?
Who?
Yeah, who like has like a very, very strange infatuation with his very young sister, and I'm like,
the guy that loves
you've got a really good show, and then you decide I'm just gonna throw that in there for.
He loves his sister.
Is that meant to be like comedic effect? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, this is anime. Yeah, he loves his sister.
I know.
He loves her.
That is, we know. But other than the weirdness, as I say with a lot of anime, like, I'm really enjoying that. Like, I'm very in it.
Good. I'm glad. I enjoyed Black Clover. I thought it was good. You just have to work through some of that. I'm glad you like it, because I had a trouble with the beginning of it, because it was so slow, and the animation was really bad at first. So.
Is it weird that a lot of the time I don't pick up on how bad
really
the animation is? Yeah, for a lot of the stuff that I've been watching. Yeah, it doesn't. Maybe I'm just not very observant, and a lot of the time I'm editing whilst I'm watching anime.
Oh, so that's probably why. Yeah, if you if you just like straight up, that's the only thing you're doing. And if you watch as much anime as I have, you'll pick up on some of the things, like some of the like close-up cuts and stuff. That's how they'd save money, is they don't have to animate the background.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize. I saw a TikTok that said that anime characters, because like there's this like myth that anime characters in general look like they are like from America, or like they're Western looking, but actually they are designed from cat. Apparently.
I saw that yesterday too. I saw that on like Twitter or something. Like they showed like pictures of like anime characters, and then they it was like
it's a transition.
One of those transition things, like how it's like monkeys to humans, like how the caveman line. It's like that, but for anime characters,
so
the cats.
If you like anime, any type, anyone. You are a furry, like by default. That's just
apparently. That's so ridiculous. Jax, our podcast. Is this everything that you wanted in a podcast?
I mean,
you said you've dreamed of it.
A bit more news segment.
News segments? Okay, hold on.
That was sort of a thing I was talking about when we first started, when we were sort of riffing ideas.
Is the news segment?
Well, I personally, I think it would do well. Is kind of my point.
Okay, what would we call the news segment?
I don't know if we even need to. I just feel
would you be leading the news segment? Because then we can name it after you.
We don't even have to name it. We could just, bring it up. And if it's a topic that goes on for like an hour, then that's fine. But I do remember, like, early on, I sort of, on one particular episode, fought for not so much a segment, but just almost in the intro that we talk about the news, and I thought it was quite good. I thought it was quite good, and I think for like the algorithm and stuff, and obviously based on when we post it, it's quite important. But I think a news thing would be good. Like, just my personal opinion. But you are very much like focus on one game per pod sort of thing.
Well, I mean, I'm full on fine with mixing up the structure at all. I just think that if we start doing that, we need to have more segments. Because, like, either your show is either fluid and freeform, and it's just guys talking, or it's structured with multiple segments.
Okay, yeah, I see.
Because, like, if there's an in-between, I don't know if, like, Chad has any opinions on this either. I don't know in regards to, like, how many people listen to podcasts. Like, if they're podcast experts in chat, feel free to hop in here.
Think of it this way, right? So our episodes where we do a deep dive are generally an hour, right? If there is hot news that we must talk about, let's just add 15 minutes to the overall podcast. We do it after the intro, before we get into the main thing. Then it becomes like an hour and 15 minutes, slightly longer, but it means we won't always do like, sometimes there isn't news. Like we said today, funny enough, because we're doing a live stream, there isn't like a lot of like news that's come out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean? Yeah, we tried to look up a couple of new stuff before the pod, and we were like, there isn't like a lot of stuff going on right now, which is weird. Yeah, we talked about like the direct and stuff last time we had an episode. So no, I mean, I'm totally fine with that. I feel like we almost partially do that anyway. Like
kind of we do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like more like
more fleshed out.
More fleshed. Like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And maybe an easier way to get clips to put on TikTok. That's got to be like my second year podcast resolution to
more
to
TikToks.
Make sure I edit them, because when I do the edits and I'm going through it, and that's the easiest way to do it. Go through it, whatever's an interesting take, cut it, do it, and then carry on with the rest of it. And I just never get around to it. I always forget.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's understandable. I mean, I think we had to focus on the podcast itself first, and now we can expand on some more marketing via the old TikTok and that. So, yeah, I'm not worried about it. Stuff will come when it comes. I would also love to grow the podcast, get a bigger audience, people that just want to chill, listen to us talk about video games and other nerdy things. But I know it'll come in due time. I'm not really worried about it.
No, but that's to say, just in general, like, I just enjoy just the talking. You know?
It's good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. Random thing, is that a new Five Nights at Freddy's poster on your wall?
That
is that new?
No, that's been there for some time. It is.
Has it?
My brother got it for me when we went to a gaming convention. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah.
Maybe
it's the classic Freddy face.
Oh,
you know?
I hadn't seen it before. I had no idea.
27 episodes in.
27 episodes in. Look how good I am at being observant. I'm not.
Oh yeah, just on that, the FNAF security breach ruined.
Oh yeah, Ruin's coming out. That's true.
Give the people in the live stream and those who are listening after the fact that some of the episodes that we're going to be coming up with. So
that's an excellent idea.
We're going to be talking about Pocket Mirror, fantastic game that's just got a remaster. One of my favourite games of all time.
A horror indie RPG.
We will deep dive into FNAF Security Breach. Because the Ruin DLC will be coming out sometime in the summer, so good time to talk about that.
Yep.
And then there was a topic that it was a hot topic on Twitter for a little bit, and I definitely think it warrants its own episode. It's mascot horror games in general, because there was this big discourse, wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm excited, and I feel like by the time we do that episode, there will be another game of Garden of Banban. I think on 4. Is it 4? Anyone can correct me if I'm incorrect, but I think it's the 4th one that's coming out. But this is like a mascot horror game that picked up popularity just because of the mascot thing of it. And there's tons of glitches. It wasn't very good. And the 3rd one came out and it was better, but people still don't know where it's going, but it's too late. We're already invested. And it's just one of those things that's popular for no reason, just because it's so bad. So we're going to, in a future episode, talk about mascot horror as a whole, and compare it to where it's going in the future. And that's going to be a good episode. I think that's going to be really good.
It raised the question of, are there no good horror games anymore? Which obviously is not the case. There are still great horror games. Like there was literally like a new Amnesia that came out like not that long ago. Like
the horror Bunker. Games are fine. Yeah.
I think that kind of argument comes from, and I think I mentioned that to you before, is people who only consume indie horror games via YouTube. So you're only looking at the trendiest YouTube. Like you're not going onto Game Jolt or Itch.io and having a look for yourself. There's loads of stuff on there, and obviously on there's still some like good, like there was a new Outlast, wasn't there? There's a new Outlast game.
Was there?
Horror's doing okay, I think.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just a point of,
I think, capitalizing on mascots themselves. It's gotten to the point where it's like, are we just trying to, make money off of like a mascot itself and not necessarily have a good game around said mascot? Or are we just trying to make money? Essentially, it's like, it's arguable. It's arguable.
I think a lot of it stemmed from like, because indie horror kind of like changes sort of in waves and stuff, and obviously FNAF played a large part in sort of the game mechanic side of things and the jump scares and that. But we're now at a time when obviously there are a lot of older gamers, and a lot of indie horror games sort of play on like cartoons and stuff that you used to watch as kids, and spin that as a horror game. And I kind of feel like it came sort of from that, and they obviously people make their own versions and stuff,
and Hollywood's doing that too, like with the Winnie the Pooh horror movie that came out recently.
Oh, that's because its IP became like free, so that anyone could do what they want with it.
I know, but the point is, also, just want to throw that out there.
Do you see that by any chance?
No, of course not. I don't watch horror movies. I'm afraid of cats.
Love that.
Oh, heck no. I can't watch that. No, I have been watching The Witcher though. Have you watched The Witcher on Netflix? Are you caught up?
Here, mate.
Okay.
And I'm so annoyed because I didn't realise that they decided to do a Walking Dead and like have a mid-season finale type of thing, because I was really enjoying. So it's basically like half a season that you got to enjoy if you haven't finished it.
No, I didn't realize. I'm 3 or 4 episodes into it.
I was gonna say, I think there's 5.
Are you kidding me?
And then the next 5 will drop in July, I think.
I didn't know that. That's stupid. I don't like it. Wait, it is July.
Yeah, so it's not as long as what Walking Dead does, but I just wanted to make that point.
Oh, so it's like
I hated
2 weeks.
Walking Dead for that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I just want to binge it. Jug, I am a wimp for not watching horror movies. Correct. My favorite horror movie is Scream. Scream 1 is a great horror movie.
Scary,
I know,
dude.
but it's good. It is good.
You should watch this one called Dead Silence. Yeah,
I feel
about a puppet, and it's very creepily made.
What kind? One of my worst fears is porcelain dolls. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
not.
That's right up your street, then, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not quite. Oh my gosh. All right, Jax. I feel like we're almost at our allotted time for the podcast.
We are. As Gooey Boy says, about an hour has passed.
Yeah, about an hour has passed. Thank you, everyone that showed up to the live stream. Really appreciate it.
Did we cover everything?
I think we covered everything, didn't we? Check the list. The list.
A Q&A.
Talk to audience Q&A. Yeah, if anyone's got any last minute questions, feel free to say it in chat now. But yeah, let us know. Also, if you want us to do more live stream stuff. So we talked about it.
I wouldn't be against it. Yeah,
wouldn't be against it occasionally. Maybe in the future we'll edit it a little bit to cut out some of the dead silence or whatever. I don't know how it's gonna go. This one's we're probably just gonna upload. So
I've actually managed to be here for the full hour. I haven't needed to duck.
I know.
For any reason. I haven't been disturbed. The fridge only made noise once, so that's a record.
Yeah, guys. Normally we have to edit the episode because Jax's cat comes in.
My cat comes in.
Your baby.
And wants to spend time with me. Or my baby wakes up. He's been in the same position. I hope he's okay. He's been in the same position. Hasn't moved for like over an hour now.
He's just.
And then sometimes my fridge makes a really loud noise. I have to go into Audacity. I do it for every recording anyway. But sometimes it's so bad. I was very close to buying the mic that you suggested. On Prime Day.
You should, because I can mute myself
I didn't do it in the end because it was a refurbished one. I was looking at it. It was like 40 quid. And I was like, yeah, that's around like $50-$55.
Yeah. Thank you for that math lesson.
I didn't get it in the end, but I know I need to improve my mic situation. It's one of the frequent comments that come up about the videos. Improving the audio is one of them, so I need to do that.
Yeah, we're going to work on that in the future going forward, but yeah. In the meantime, once again, thank you everyone for being here. Tons of fun. We are very much enjoying the podcast, and year down, another till we're dead to go. Right, Jax?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I should have said this in advance. Do you have the outro video as a scene? Because if not, I can send it to you right now.
I didn't have it up, but I can actually. Wait,
have you got it?
I might be able to. Give me a second, and I can figure that out.
Nice, chill.
I know. Oh, why don't we do our lovely outro thing that you do all the time, Jax? While I'm pulling that up. Why don't you do that?
I was meant to research. Okay, so what is it? I have like.
You're supposed to do like
pearls of wisdom or something.
Yes, pearls of wisdom.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Man, I'm just trying to think. What have I been playing lately? And I've been playing nothing but Tears of the Kingdom. And
this is just advice in general. Video game or non-video game related.
If you happen to be playing Tears of the Kingdom, and if you're not, then I presume it's just because you don't have a Switch, and fair enough. But if you do, go to the Elden Mountain and look for the Rock Octoroks. Drop your favourite weapons, and then they will suck them up and spit them back out with upgraded durability and stuff. So it's basically a way for you to keep your favourite weapons.
Octoroks weren't in the first one, were they?
Yeah, they were.
Oh,
yeah.
I know nothing. Never mind.
Rock weapons, can upgrade the weapons to sort of not remove durability, but like make it better, basically. I have yet to find them, but I know it's a thing. And also two fans and a steering stick in a particular way makes a hover bike, which is like literally like the best thing ever. Like I use it all the time.
I have
you
seen.
You can just fly everywhere. It's so good.
Yeah.
There's my tip.
That's a lovely tip. Last thing, if you guys like the podcast, let us know on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or Amazon, any of that stuff, maybe give us 5 stars, or
and just
feedback's appreciated. And thank you for a year of podcast is wild.
Yeah.
I think I have the outro now, so I'm gonna pull that up. But goodbye,
Thank you guys
goodbye,
again
everyone.
so much. Thank you in the chat for coming to the live stream, and we will see you next time.
Oh wait, I do have it pulled up, but it's not. Ignore it. Ignore it. No, it's fine. This is keeping it.
Oh god, I see what
you're keeping it. We're keeping it in. Oh, this is just the music. Oh no, they can hear you, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know. I love that that's playing over the top. That's so funny.
I think it's funny. It's really good.